this video, I'm going to show you how to use characters and how to develop a simple conversation screen like this one. Do check out the description below this video. You'll find links that allow you to skip ahead to view specific topics that I'm going to cover in this video. Okay, so I've created a tester module here so that we can start our conversation screen. Let's click this plus button over here to add a screen, and I'm going to title it Welcome to this unit. Okay, well, maybe just welcome. Okay, I'm going to choose conversation screen. And Guroo already has a couple of these templates, but I'm going to choose a blank screen just to show you how to build one from the bottom up. Okay, I'll just click into this. Okay, you can just ignore this template thing for now. We're not going to use a template, but first of all, what you want to do is just click this up here, new, and we're going to choose dialogue. So when you want your character to say something, you have to choose this dialogue type of content. Okay, you can just name it. The name doesn't really matter because you can hide that title later anyway. Okay, and I will open up this window like this, and you can just hide this title. Okay, before we start to include our dialogue, let's look at what the options are in terms of our characters. So if you look at this bar up here, this gives you all the options and the settings that you can set for this character screen. So this one is obviously to choose your character. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. And you can see that you can choose a primary character or a specific character. So if you have a primary character in your module, for example, if it's a lecturer and that's sort of like the default character you want to always show up whenever you do a dialogue, you should put them under primary character. But let's say you have a program where you want to start out with a lecturer, and then you want to have a scenario in which the student will see a different kind of character. Maybe they're supposed to meet a buddy or something like that at orientation. You can choose the specific characters here. Yeah, but for now, let us set a primary character. So I usually use this to represent lecturers, and that just gives students some semblance of continuity. Like if they were to see you in a classroom lecture or an online lecture, and then if you were to do a Guroo module as a tutorial activity, then there's some kind of continuity there. Okay, so you can see that you can choose different kinds of views for your character, and you can also choose different kinds of poses. So I don't want to have this lady, I think her name is Charlie. I'm gonna go here, and this allows me to change the character I want. So these are all the stock characters that you can use. They've been created for various reasons. I think like different businesses, other companies who are using Guroo. So there are many different characters that you can choose from here. But if you go to My Teams up here, you're also going to see all the characters that have been created for Monash staff. So all of these characters you'll see here are Monash staff, except for her. So this character is a student buddy. And she was created for a Guroo module in which students would have to meet their buddy at orientation, and they were going to learn a little bit of Bahasa Malaysia. So you can use one of these characters. If you're not here already, then I would recommend you use one of the stock characters. But you can see that we've also Guroo has also created things like waiters and a stall holder. So you can use them if you're developing a kind of scenario for your tutorial activity. I'm going to choose this character. This is me. And you can choose different kinds of poses, but for now, let's just choose a neutral one because you can choose the pose depending on what you're talking about later on anyway. Okay, so now we've done that. Let's go ahead and change the background as well because I don't want my character to be sort of standing in the middle of nowhere. Click on image and select background. You can upload your own background as well, and we've covered this in another video about dealing with images. So go ahead and watch that. For now, I'm going to just click on my team's images. I'm going to select a image around Monash, so it looks like my character is standing in one of the corridors at Monash. Okay. So now that we've done that, we can go ahead and add the actual content, the conversation that we want our character to have. So you can see that you can either have a narration text, so with something that I say and then something that the learner says, but you can also have your character insert images, like if you want to demonstrate a graph or something like that, or if you want to draw out a function or something like that, you can. Okay, so I'm gonna have my character say welcome to this module, and I want her to say something else. My name is Dr. Karen. Dr. Karen Lim, please call me Karen. Okay, and now I'm going to have my learner just respond automatically and say, hi, Dr. Karen. You don't have to do this, but it's just fun for now. Okay, one thing I want you to notice is that my name actually shows up on top of my bubble, Karen, and that's because this is my stock character and it's been made for me, so the default name is already my name. But if you choose a stock character, you can go ahead and change the character name here to whatever you want. So you can change it to Dr. Lim, for example, and then it will show up here, as you can see. For the learners, the default it will just say you. However, if you're hosting this module on Moodle, then the name will automatically change to your student's name. It will pull that data from the Moodle database, I guess. Okay, so let's say you want to ask your student a question. How do you go about doing that? And you want to give your student the option of how to respond to that. Okay, so first, in this dialog box, you would ask the question. So let's say I'm gonna ask, how are you? Okay, and then instead of going here and allow and sort of putting in an automatic response for them, you're going to come down here. You'll see just now that I just clicked new, so you're adding a new object into the screen, and you're gonna click assess question. No, I'm gonna click reflective question actually, and I'm gonna click conversation choice. Okay. I'm just gonna give it a random title. And it's gonna allow you to edit. So by default, it opens up, it shows a title, but I'm going to hide it because I want it to appear as if it's a natural flow from this conversation up here. So all you need to do is click add option. And you can add multiple options. I'm going to just have 2 options, fine and terrible. Obviously, you wouldn't actually have that option in an actual module, but okay. Now I'm going to toggle this prompt button off. We don't need a prompt for this video. Okay. Now, so you've allowed your students to choose two options, but you also want to be able to respond differently depending on what dialogue response they've chosen. So this is how you do it. I'm going to choose learn response dialogue instead of feedback and character, and this is how you give them a specific a custom response. So if they say fine, I'm going to say great. Let's look at this week's learning objectives. And if they say terrible, I'm gonna say, oh no, I hope this module will cheer you up. And then I'm gonna say again, let's look at this week's learning objectives. So usually I use it so that it always ends up at the same place. So whatever object I insert after this, it will be the same because you only have the option to respond in a custom way one time. So there's no way to sort of make it so that if they say fine, they're doing completely different activities than if they say terrible. They will end up doing the same thing. It's just that your immediate response can be different. Okay, so now that we've included our content, let's preview what we've done. So as I described in an earlier video, you just have to click this eye over here and that generates a preview. Like I said in the other video, you can preview it in different devices. So if you want to see what your student would see if they were doing this module on their handphones or on an iPad or something like that, you can do that here. Okay, so this is how it looks. As you can see, it's done the background that I've chosen. This is my view, and I'm saying welcome to this module, blah blah blah. Hi, Dr. Karen. And I say, how are you? The student clicks continue, and then they're given their options. I'm feeling terrible. Oh no. And that's how it's done.